We need our weed. I don't wear it, but we need it.
You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
We're the whites. Nobody ever cares if bad things happen to us anymore.
And I want to understand white rage, and I'm white.
They just hang around. Watch TV, watch their friends grow up, feeling unhappy and jealous, and those feelings are bad. They hurt. And then some people just get lost on the way to the light, and they need someone to guide them to it.
Soul, middle, child.
These blacks. What's good, people? The show will start momentarily. You know me, I'm pre-gaming. Listen up, blunt, think about my last dollar. Hit that like button, y'all. Shout out to Joey with the $4.99 for real ninja reparations. We will be with you guys shortly. Gotta push up on my Spanish just in case this don't work and we don't get them all out. You got 3 more years left. No worse than after the Spanish, bro. States, man. Never get caught off guard. So it's gonna be busting it open for Jorge. I might have to come by later. Opportunity for Jorge, y'all. Grant, I'm told it's only a mass shooting done by a white guy against other white people. That's the only black definition of mass shooting. Hey, Grant, you know something? I actually mentioned it. I actually think I saw that shooting because it was recorded on security, like indoor security camera. Like one guy saw another guy across the bar, and I think he shot at him, and then the guy shot at him. Just other people started shooting, like it was gunfire everywhere, bro. Like a Wild West bar fight. Hey, Bunny. Don't let your manager find out you're listening. They might put you on a list. And once you reach the boss level, they start debanking you and putting you on lists and shit. What's good, Aaron? Welcome to the gang, bro. Welcome to the gang. Yes, Chocolate Bunny and I hope you are all having a great night. Thank you all for tuning in. We are going to get into this conversation about Chicago. What happened to all my homies from Chicago, man? Y'all niggas used to get mad every time we talked about Chicago. Y'all would act like I was picking on Chicago for no good damn reason. Like I'm bullying Chicago or something. It's not my fault you make it in the news, bro. Like you guys make the news a lot, man. You guys in Chicago, you make the news way too often to be upset about this type of thing. I don't know if this is Chicago, but it might as well be. I heard shit's so crazy in Chicago, they're putting brown people back into the fire. Just putting them right back in there. Right, just go. It's warm in there. It's warm in there. This is where you belong. Go. Putting them right back in the fire, bro. Look at that. Hard-working Chicago Fire Department. Actually, I don't know who this is. This could be anybody. You couldn't see that anyway. Oh, stupid me. Let me share that with y'all. It would help if I would share the screen so you can watch the fire department putting brown people back into the burning building. They didn't tell you about this in Project 2025. This is actually Project 2027. Once we complete Project 2025, we're going straight to Project 2027. We're putting them back, y'all. We're putting them all back where we found them at, all right? Project 2027 is put the niggas back where you found them. But not all right. We're just joking. These are just jokes. Obviously, that is footage run in reverse, right? If one of you guys write a letter to somebody. Get out your feelings. Get in, boys. We're doing the Insurrection Act on Chicago now.
Look at this. The Portland mayor and city council largely blocked police from responding to any violence at ISIS building. look at this. The Portland mayor and city council largely blocked police from responding to any violence at ISIS building.
It is not for me, nor is it for anybody here listening to declare such a thing. But I would like to ask my audience, because you know how I am. I'm already, there is no middle ground. There's no such thing as too far right. I mean, there probably is, but it's like on another planet. We don't even have the technology to go too far right yet. It's literally like in the Alpha Centauri system. That's how far you have to go too far right. And we just don't have the technology to go that far right. However, do you guys agree that Trump should use the Insurrection Act to bring the National Guard into places like Portland and Chicago? Let's see one in the chat if you support Trump using the Insurrection Act to bring law and order to liberal enclaves. Because it's not just a black thing. Portland is a bunch of crazy white folk. Chicago, it ain't even got no niggas protesting, really. It's all the weirdo white people in the suburbs of Chicago. That's who's protesting in Chicago right now. But niggas still talking about it.
Let ICE do their job. This is what we voted for. I kid you not. When are y'all going to wake up and realize the politicians y'all chose sold us out for illegal immigrants? Salute to Jamal Green, man, because I didn't like Jamal Green at one time. Because he was all for the immigrants at first till he started realizing, oh, man, these people getting free housing, cars, jewelry, bitches, everything. While Americans gets nothing, all right? And they dumped them in your neighborhood. That video y'all seen on 75th and South Shore with them ICE agents going in there taking out them immigrants, that's what we voted for. Y'all was just crying on 75th and South Shore, talking about how they took over y'all building.
Now, see, I was told by Izzy Benz when I was on his channel, the Izzy told me that his homie told him that shit ain't about nothing. Venezuelans, it was like 3 Venezuelans in the whole building, right? That's what his friend told him, and he told me. And I'm like, no, Izzy, I don't think that's true.
Boy, I tell you right now, we got a lot of sellouts in the black community. Y'all better wake y'all ass up. If it wasn't for Trump, America would be over, and starting with the black community. They ain't dumped none of them motherfuckers on the north side and these other people community. They ain't dump them in nobody community but yours.
Let me tell you a little story about New York City, right? So when the immigrant population was like really, really moving in heavy in New York City, I have an auntie who has property, a homeowner on Staten Island, right? And if you know anything about New York City, Staten Island is like where a lot of the money moved out of the boroughs, right? Like the last Brooklyn Italians, they formed a stronghold in Staten Island, right? Now, there's also black people and Mexicans, there's projects and shit out there, but Staten Island is a different borough compared to like Brooklyn and Bronx and shit like that. It's a different vibe out there. It's almost like being out of town. They put a migrant shelter in my aunt's neighborhood. And it was a school that was abandoned. It was being shut down or whatever. Like that school wasn't in use for a year or two now. And so they put the migrants in there. And so when I would go to my aunt's house and I would like, because at that time, I actually was in and out of her house for a while because I needed her for something at that time. And I would come back and forth and I would have to like walk like the gauntlet of like Africans and various Hispanics and shit, 1 or 2 odd Asians. And are you from Arlington? Yeah, I've been through there. Shout out to Arlington. I've been all over the island though. But I used to have to walk through that gauntlet of people, right? And you know what they did after like a month or two? I don't even think it was a full 2 months. They closed that place down. While the rest of Brooklyn and Bronx and the Manhattan, they had nothing to do but just deal with it. But Staten Island, at least in that one place, they were like, no, you're not keeping them niggas here next to me and all this property I got. And they found a way to municipally shut that shit down.
And y'all fighting for them to keep taking y'all benefits. Oh man. Boy, I tell you right now, we're in trouble. The black community in trouble. And it's all because of y'all some slow, dumb motherfuckers. Look, Governor Prick Prisser, you not gonna win again. Mayor Brandon Johnson, you not gonna win again. People starting to wake up. Going out to let I
Yeah, you know what, Grant? Now I remember Arlington is over there by the harbor. That's why I know Arlington, because when we was little, we used to go over the harbor because my cousin used to. Well, I used to be in the harbor, and my cousins used to fuck with some chick over there in Arlington. All right, now I remember where Arlington is. I had to think about that shit for a minute. Like, why do I know Arlington? That shit is not too far from the harbor. And you know, if you from Arlington, you know what I mean when I say the harbor. Brooklyn shit, New York shit. Only insiders know. You gotta be initiated to know these places.
So for those who was questioning about who I am and where I'm at, this is Adam Clayton Powell. This is the building that everyone is in an uproar about. So as I said, South Shore, this is your community, your neighborhood, and this building was not majority black when the ICE came the other day. Yes, black people were affected, but this building was overran by illegal Venezuelan gangs. And I just had several conversations with residents who are moving their stuff out of here that confirmed that. So stop letting media put that false narrative in your head that somebody coming for you, because they not. You was born here. You was born on this land. Rise up and stand up on something and stop letting any and everybody tell you something. So for those who was questioning about who I am and where I'm at.
Now, that is the building in question that was raided the other day. And you probably heard by now, but let's kind of go through it over. So apparently a building in Chicago came on ICE's radar. It was overrun with illegal immigrants, and there was probably a couple of big shots that they had on their list, and they wanted to get those guys. And so they used helicopters, and it was like some black ops type shit. They rappelled off of the helicopters down on the speed ropes, and they landed on the roof of the building and whatnot. They secured the whole building, locked it down, and it was it was a big deal. It was a lot happening there. And so actually my favorite clip is from, I think it was MSNBC with Nicole Wallace, as she played the clip. And the girl said, "Well, I heard one of the ICE agents say F them kids." And then Nicole Wallace goes back on camera. She's like, "Fuck the kids." Like, yes, Nicole, fuck the kids. They ain't mine. I don't care. Put them on a boat with their mama. They be all right.
So this is how I know some of y'all was never raised in the hood. When there is a raid, no matter what color it is, who's ever in the building, house, apartment, they are going every single person. If your daughter ever went to a drug dealer house and they raided it, they're going to arrest your daughter, hold her, verify who she is, make sure she's not part of the criminal gang, and then they're more than likely going to release her.
Now, I didn't want to get into this type of shit because, you know, niggas be talking all of this, you know, I'm gangster and I'm from the hood and da-da-da-da, and I don't really care to get into that kind of shit with niggas. I don't want to have a measuring contest over some non-important shit. But I could tell because I was on this panel with Izzy and a couple other dudes, right? And I could tell they don't have the understanding that I have, because my house has been raided. My home, my residence where I was living at has been raided. More than one time I've been involved in an actual raid, right? More than one time. Like, listen, I talk about the bottom from firsthand experience. I know how this shit go from the bottom up, not from the top down. And so when your house get raided, nobody goes anywhere until they tell you to. The guy that's going to jail, he's already going to jail. They came for him. They were looking for him. They got him. He's going. The rest of y'all that are in there, now you just got to sit, bro. You just gotta sit. You gotta chill and wait and work that shit out. Wait it out. That's really how that works. And there is no lawyer in his right mind that is gonna take a basic case of you being detained during a raid and say your civil rights were violated. Unless that cop went in your jaw, bro, you just got to deal with that shit. And when I'm listening to niggas like Izzy complain about their rights being violated and this, that, and the third, I'm like, nigga, you ain't never been through the system before. You have no idea what they do to your little punk ass rights, bro. This is nothing. You ain't never had police guns to the back of your head. You ain't never had none of this shit, nigga. Don't sit up here and cry about rights. You comfortable ass nigga. This is how it goes down, bro. This is what it is. And you know what? They got dealt with nicely, softly, and fairly. If that was like a drug raid, they'd have probably got thrown on the concrete harsh.
This is how I know some of y'all was never raised in the hood. When there is a raid, no matter what color it is, who's ever in the building, house, apartment, they are going to detain every single person. If your daughter ever went to a drug dealer house and they raided it, they're going to arrest your daughter, hold her, verify who she is, make sure she's not part of the criminal gang, and then they're more than likely going to release her. That's what happened. Yes, Black people were affected. Yes, people were taken out of their homes at that time of the morning. But
yo, Mr. O, that's what's so frustrating about having these conversations sometimes. Like I know intimately how fast shit go down and how hard niggas give it up. Like, bro, you don't understand who you dealing with sometimes. Like, you're gonna have to shoot some people if you really, really about this shit, bro. ICE just had to kill a lady in Chicago. The day before this raid, ICE had to kill a lady in Chicago because they boxed her in with vehicles. I mean, she boxed them in with vehicles. And then after she boxed them in, like her in one car and a couple other people, apparently she brandished a firearm and had to drop her. Like, it was crazy, bro. People act like shit soft out here, man.
They were released. So they were also there because the building was overran by Venezuelan gangs. So yeah, in this case, some Black people got affected, and they're going to keep being affected because they threw these people in our neighborhoods and communities. So this won't be the last raid. So this is how I know some of y'all was.
One thing is clear, none of what Trump is doing is making Illinois safer. ICE is running around the loop, harassing people for not being white. Just a year ago, that was illegal in the United States. Now, ICE is making it commonplace. That's not making America great.
Hi again, everybody. It's now 5 o'clock in New York. Mere hours after Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker said that, a terrifying scene unfolded in Chicago.
Hours after he was up there crying like a little bitch, they did the raid part 3 in Chicago. They dropped that little South Asian nigga in the Chicago building and let him beat the shit out of everybody.
Around 300 federal agents descended on an apartment building in the South Shore neighborhood. They forced their way inside and began raiding people's homes. From reporting in the Chicago Sun-Times, quote, armed federal agents in military fatigues busted down their doors overnight, pulling men, women, and children from their apartments, some of them naked, residents and witnesses said. Agents approached or entered nearly every apartment in the 5-story building, and U.S. citizens were among those detained for.
You see how clever the news is with their wording? Because you got to understand, the police do not just kick down your door without paperwork. That's one thing they're usually good at. Like, mistakes do happen, but as a general rule, if they come to your door, they knew it was your door. Now, when she says they entered or approached several homes, that means that they had places that they knew they had to go into, and then other places they went into on like occasion. Like, for example, you're gonna hear something in her news clip. Watch this.
Hours, end quote. Take a listen to this chilling local news report on what happened.
I spoke to one woman who actually lives in this building, and she says she was detained by ICE agents overnight, and she says they took everyone and then asked questions later.
They just treated us like we were nothing.
Patricia Fisher said she came out to the hallway of her apartment complex on the corner of 75th and South Shore Drive.
You see that? She came out into the hallway. Now, maybe she was caught slipping. She ain't know what she's supposed to do. She old lady mode got activated and she started to go, look, let me see what's going on. No. Mind your business, lady. Remember DMX tried to tell you, nosy people get it too. Mind your business, lady. And now you're being detained. Stay in your building. Stay in the house. Matter of fact, if they bang on that door, don't say a word. If they're going to come in, they're going to come in. But don't say a fucking word. Let them do what they do.
In her nightgown around 10 Monday night, only to find ICE agents yelling police.
It was scary because I've never had a gun put in my face. They asked my name and my date of birth and asked me, did I have any warrants? And I told them no, I didn't.
She says she was then handcuffed and released around 3 a.m. Fisher says she was told if anyone had any kind of warrant out for them, even if it was unrelated to immigration, they would not be released. Citizen App video shows the chaotic scene overnight. Neighbors tell us there were dozens of ICE agents. Neighbors like Ebony Watson says they ducked for cover as they heard several flashbangs go off.
They was terrified. The kids was crying. People was screaming.
Girl, that's my favorite girl right here. The little head tie, the back fro, the dark obesity. She's just perfect. I love when the news picks these people. They never pick the cute bitches.
They looked very distraught. I was out there crying when I seen the little girl come around the corner. Because they was bringing the kids out too. Had them zip tied to each other. That's all I kept asking. Where's the morality? Where's the human?
Where's the morality? Where's the human? Somebody help me. Where is the human? Where's the morality? They zip tied the babies.
They have rights. They have rights.
So fucking what, man?
One of them literally laughed. He was standing right here. He said, them kids.
Fuck the kids.
Yes, Nicole, fuck the kids, okay? We are tired of your shit, bitch. Fuck the kids, god damn it.
Scenes coming out of Chicago and the surrounding area where the Trump administration has escalated its immigration crackdown. Officers were seen in riot gear, gas masks, and armored cars as protesters gathered yesterday outside a detention center. At times, there were confrontations with federal agents leading to a number of arrests. Those same agents have been seen in tactical gear, roaming the streets openly carrying guns in a show of intimidation. And then there was this early morning raid of an apartment building earlier this week that involved around 300 federal agents, including those rappelling down from a Black Hawk helicopter.
They're going to film Sicario Part 3 in Southwest Chicago. The cartels have a wide network, and we're tracking down this one guy, and he ran all the way to Chicago. Dude, we got so much content that's about to come out in the next couple of years. You understand? We might keep Hollywood alive with all the content that's going to come out in the next couple of years, bro. All the movies that they're about to make. One lone Mexican on the run from ICE agents, trying to find the woman he loves. Maria! I'm telling you, bro, the content is going to be so gangster.
As the Chicago Sun-Times reports, quote, armed federal agents in military fatigues busted down their doors overnight, pulling men, women, and children from their apartments, some of them naked, residents and witnesses said. Agents approached or entered nearly every apartment in this 5-story building, and U.S. citizens were among those detained for hours.
You see how they keep trying to make it, they try to hype it up more than it is. They approached or entered nearly every building in the apartment. Yeah, bitch, they walked past your door as they were kicking down that guy's door down the hall. That's literally what that means, right? They approached or entered every apartment in the building. Yeah. That's because they had to walk past all the other apartments to kick that guy's door, maybe his neighbor too, because I heard y'all knocked the wall down and did some tunnel shit. So now we're kicking both doors down. But that means they nearly approached every other apartment. You see how the news be lying? They're going to put Boy Reed up here to tell me sweet lies and shit.
Agents claimed the neighborhood was, quote, a location known to be frequented by Tren de Aragua members and their associates. But DHS, of course, gave no evidence to support that assertion, and authorities did not confirm that any of the people arrested were members of the Venezuelan gang.
You know what? I don't know what happened between Trump and Maduro, but Trump really been like on some fucked up Venezuelan shit lately. Like, it's crazy how much Trump hates Venezuelans. Like, we're just blowing them out the water. I don't even know if we're stopping to check ID or nothing. If we catch a funny-looking boat leaving Venezuela driving too fast, them niggas dead, bro. I don't know what the Venezuelans, I don't know what Maduro did to Trump, but he is going some shit right now.
Joining us now is Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson. Mayor Johnson, thank you so much for coming. I want to start with the raid because for so long, the American people have felt safe in their homes from a lot of the things that are going around in the streets, whether it's these immigration raids or the Marines in LA or whatever.
This punk ass mayor. I can't stand him. I swear to God. He just look like a nigga you want to fight. Like, every time I see this nigga, I just feel emotions of violence. Every time I see this nigga, I want to fight him, bro. Hate this nigga.
But this is coming to the front doorsteps of people in your community, in your city, who are American citizens, who no evidence has been shown that they are a part of Tren de Aragua or even any of the other folks that were in that building a part of that. Talk a little bit about what it is like for the people in that apartment building to feel so under siege.
Well, the tensions are certainly high in the city of Chicago.
I mean, I think they were under siege from Venezuelans, bro. If anybody was laying siege to the building, it was the Venezuelans, right? Because you can't say that Trump laid siege to the building. Like, that was a raid. That shit was over in a matter of hours. Like, that was a clean, clinical operation right there. The Venezuelans, they were in there for months, though. Years, maybe.
What the president is doing is absolutely dangerous and unconstitutional. But our position is clear. We're going to remain resolved and firm in our position to protect the rights of all of our residents. What you are describing is something that we have been warning about for some time, that there are a number of people, including the president of the United States of America, that have decided to declare war on poor people and on working people across the country. And this raid that you are describing was on the south side of Chicago, where Black folks live, and it is evident and foment chaos and fear within our streets of cities across America. But we're going to remain firm, and we're going to fight back against this tyranny.
Mayor Johnson, Secretary Kristi Noem, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, was in your city yesterday, and she spoke to federal agents before they were unleashed on protesters. Listen to what she had to say.
I heard they shit on Kristi Noem when she was in Chicago. There was like a building she tried to access, like some type of federal building, because she had to use the bathroom or something, like some simple shit like that. And they were like, nah, you can't come in here. Like, Chicago really wants smoke, bro. And I feel like they're going to line up the Black people to do it. They really trying to get Black people out there to drop one for Jorge.
So today when we leave here, we're going to go hard. We're going to hammer these guys that are advocating for violence against the American people. What they are doing is advocating to harm not just you and your colleagues, but your families. And they're doxing your identities and victimizing people every day by the way that they're talking, speaking, who they're affiliated with, who they're funded with, and what they're talking about as far as consequences for what we're doing by protecting this country.
So, two-part question, Mayor Johnson. One is, what she alleged Is that what protesters were doing? And two, and more importantly, has the secretary or anyone from the Trump administration reached out to you directly, personally, asking you, or at least telling you that they're coming to town and wanting to meet with you and discuss any of this with you?
Why would we tell you? You just gonna tell the Venezuelans, bro. If I tell you, you're gonna tell somebody else, and then they're gonna tell the Venezuelans, and next thing you know, we're gonna raid that house and ain't gonna nobody be in there. Like, nah, bro, we can't tell Brandon. Never tell Brandon anything. Just do that shit and figure it out later.
Well, first of all, she has no idea what she's talking about. The Trump administration, they are completely delusional right now. And what they are promulgating in this particular moment are not just unconstitutional measures, but they're dangerous and reckless, and it's antithetical to who we are as a nation. You know, what I've done in the city of Chicago, I've signed 2 sweeping executive orders, one to make sure that the residents of this city know their rights and that there's real clear engagement with our law enforcement, not wearing any masks, being identifiable, and being also very clear about protecting the rights of all of our residents. The second,
see, he wants people out there agitated and getting in the cop's face so they can provoke some type of incident, and then they can be like, ooh, look how bad these police are.
thing is we made sure that we're protecting the right to protest. This is something that's fundamental to our democracy. The peacefully assembling of individuals to petition their government to do right by the people of this nation is something that is fundamental, and it's part of the bedrock of our nation.
I don't think people are peacefully protesting anymore. Like, they actually took a shot at the ICE agents down in Texas, right? A week ago, maybe a couple of days before all this happened, there was a shooting at an ICE facility in Texas. So some guy, I don't know, some twink or something, he gets on a rooftop and he starts shooting at ICE, but instead of hitting the ICE agents, he shoots like 4 illegals. So we're just not fucking around with people anymore.
When it comes to Black, brown, white, Asian, working class people, this president has not only been a disappointment, but again, he has worked hard to relitigate the Civil War. And we're not going to stand for it. But she has no idea what she's talking about.
You see, look, and this was a couple of days ago. They want to relitigate the Civil War, bro. Stop doing that, Brandon. You trying to drag niggas back into Civil War 2.0. You want Black people to fight the Civil War for Jorge. We're not about the war for Jorge, bro. No wars for Jorge.
And there are protests that are happening all over the country that are demanding justice in this moment.
Have you heard from anyone? Have you heard from the secretary? Have you heard from the president? Has anyone talked to you directly?
No, they have not. They don't communicate with us. In fact, I'm in regular conversations with mayors across this country. And
Trump only talked to real niggas, bro. That's why they didn't call you. Trump isn't afraid to talk to Black people, but he only talks to real niggas, bro. And you're not a real nigga, Brandon.
None of these niggas have motion except for me. There has to be one real nigga left in America, in this damn country.
Whether it's, Karen Bass in Los Angeles, whether it's, Andre Dickens and Atlanta, as you know, that our resources are being threatened in our respective cities because we're actually investing in. This president is not interested in communicating with those of us who are on the ground every single day, and we know what it takes to govern our cities, and we're doing all the good work, right? Our investments have led to some of the greatest declines in violence across this city and across this country. This president
we have
is
those stats.
unserious.
Let's put them up on the screen.
Yeah, so 30% reduction in homicides, 35% reduction in shootings and shooting victims. Violent crime is down as a whole over 20%. In fact, we had the fewest amount of homicides in the summer since 1965, one of the safest summers we've had in over a generation. This is not about deportation. This is not about community safety.
I guarantee you, if you look at the numbers, shootings are up like crazy. But people are just surviving more because of technology and medicine and poor aim and whatnot. More people are surviving gunfire, but they're just not being marked as homicides because you actually have to die.
This is, quite frankly, this is about for profit. We know that there is an investigation right now that's underway with Tom Homan, who took $50,000 from 2 FBI agents because Tom Homan made a promise to direct contracts to the very people who are running these detention centers who actually gave over almost $3 million to President Trump's campaign. The President of the United States of America has declared war on poor people. And if there was ever a time for working people to stand up across this world, the time is now.
Oh, boo-hoo. The president declared war on me. The president declared war on me. Your bitch ass up. Shut the fuck up, Brandon. All right, we off this one. We off this. Let's get away from Brandon. He making me sad. This nigga giving me bitch nigga vibes.
American cities to be training grounds, and ICE listened. In Chicago, in the middle of the night, federal agents stormed an apartment building. Black Hawk helicopters, flashbangs, military-style trucks, all used in the raid. Now, witnesses say everyone was detained, no matter their status. Children were zip-tied together, separated from their parents. And the feds say...
That sounds like equality, equity, and diversity to me. People ain't never happy, bro. You give them exactly what they want, and they are never, ever happy. That is terrible. It's amazing how that works. Let me read a couple of super chats real quick. Shout out to Lasers. Thank you for the $2. D-Rock Den with the $4.99 was Hoodie. My man, I ain't see you in a little while, bro. It's good to see you back around these parts. Thank you for coming through. Shout out to D-Rock Den with the $4.99 super chat. Hit that like button, y'all. We are just getting fired up.
I need that money.
My man Laughing Dog with the 5-ball. He says the STF UB kid was a prophet sent from heaven, and we didn't appreciate him. And he's only alive on this channel, bro.
Good afternoon, boys and girls. Shut the fuck up. Hey.
Not nice.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
You need to leave? No, bitch.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? I actually had a noticeable PayPal donation the other day from Marshall. Shout out to my man Marshall with the 50 ball on PayPal. Thank you so much for smashing that PayPal donation, man. Smash that super chat button while y'all ain't here for me.
Hulk! Smash! Smash you! Yeah! You make Hulk angry! You not like Hulk angry! Hulk no like fighting girls.
That wasn't PayPal. That was Venmo. My bad. That was Venmo. But shout out to my man Marshall.
That they arrested dozens of gang members. Also in the city, Charlie Kirk's group was given a front row seat to a raid inside a Walmart.
Amazing. Secretary Noem was here. They rolled up a couple of guys, and it's rowdy. There's a lot of people around. Everyone's filming. The Secretary of Homeland Security is right now doing raids at Walmart.
So as forewarned, I mean, we have a situation in which American cities are at the center of this ICE crackdown, and there's indiscriminate use of force against Americans, non-Americans, people here legally, people here illegally. And
anybody
on the right,
can
nobody
get it.
seems to care. In fact, they love it.
I saw a video from
Think
a
it's
local
funny.
station in Chicago, and residents of a community there were describing an ICE raid and like what they saw. Two things struck me. One,
He might hit you.
they were talking about things that happened to them. They were talking about how they were treated in this ICE raid. These are the people that, I guess, by virtue of being born here in America, are entitled to being treated like human beings. The second thing is that they were all Black. And I'm going to say something. We saw this coming. We knew the neighborhoods where these ICE raids would take place. We knew that a lot of
Y'all told me Black people were going to get deported, though. Put a 1 in the chat if you remember them saying they're going to deport Black people too. That's what we were told. You told me Black folk was going to get put on a bus to Mexico or some shit, and That's not what happened. I think we sent that one Guatemalan nigga to Africa somewhere. That is hilarious, by the way. The fact that we took this nigga from like El Salvador and dropped him off in Africa because he wanted to be fly. Like, look, we tried to be nice to your punk ass and send you back home. Oh, home ain't good enough for you? All right, let's see if you can make your way home from Africa now. Since home ain't good enough for your punk ass. North Star Key? Okay, adios. And so now we dropping niggas off in Africa, bro. It's actually kind of hilarious when you think about it. Like, just the spite, the pettiness of it all. Look, keep talking shit. You're going to wind up in Uganda.
These things wouldn't happen in Beverly Hills or in Coconut Grove or any of those places like that. We knew that there would be collateral damage, that there would be trauma that would be inflicted on our communities. We knew that people would be detained, scared. We knew that children would have to see things that they shouldn't have to see. And all of this for political theater so that we look tough on immigration for everyone. It's a horror show. And I do think if it hasn't already happened, that it'll be something that even the most conservative of Americans will get tired of seeing human beings treated this way. At least that's my hope.
The one neighbor said the kids were crying. They looked very distraught. I was out there crying when I seen the little girl come around the corner because they were bringing kids down too, had them zip tied to each other, saying that there were trucks, military-style vans used to separate adults from kids. What's going on?
I haven't seen any of this, so I certainly am not aware of particular neighborhoods that are targeted. Obviously, I support them finding and arresting people who are here illegally. And in the community they're in, again, I can't justify, I haven't seen which communities that they're targeting.
Well, one detail that's been left out is that they were targeting Tren de Aragua. And so Tren de Aragua is a violent transnational gang. It's in
I swear they hate Scott. Like, as soon as he starts talking, right? Because he's the only one that actually does the news up there. They just get up there and start bitching about random shit.
Communities that they're targeting.
Well, one detail that's been left out is that they were targeting Tren de Aragua. And so Tren de Aragua is a violent transnational gang. They send illegal immigrants here to the United States. They traffic drugs, they traffic people, they commit violence. They inflict misery everywhere they go. And 37 people were arrested. That was the purpose of the raid, the targeting of Tren de Aragua, some of the most violent people in our hemisphere. And when they come here, nothing good happens. That was
Okay, so if it was targeting, I don't think anybody has a problem with targeting. Right. When you clear out an apartment building and you zip tie children and you arrest and detain everyone. Scott, hold on, Scott. You and me, we're talking here.
Damn, you know what I just realized? When I was on Izzy panel, we were having this exact same conversation and they were trying to morally shame me. Everybody was moral fagging the other day. I hate that shit. Like, my race, they had kids and all that. I'm like, bro, that's how it goes when they get raided. I don't know what you want to happen. Bro, I was the Scott. I was the white man on Izzy's panel the other day. Nigga just like me for real.
Okay. If they arrest children, they arrest everyone, citizens and non-citizens, for hours, detain them, deprive them of their liberty for no matter how long. You are fine with that.
They didn't arrest children, but
I didn't say they arrested them. They put them in zip ties. But if that makes a difference to you, go ahead.
Here's what makes a difference to me. If the federal government knows that there is a...
Were they supposed to put the children in handcuffs? Would that have made it better for you? Just cuff them to the radiator so we know they don't go nowhere? Like, what were you supposed to do? Listen, I wouldn't put it past a Venezuelan 5-year-old to grab a gun, okay? I wouldn't put it past a Venezuelan toddler to grab police's gun. All right, that nigga grew up hard. He seen his papa get drowned in a river on his way over here. He going through some shit right now. All right, you never know. You never know. It's different world. It's different rules in different countries. They 5-year-olds might be with it. That nigga might have jumped off the porch at 4 for all I know. Can't trust none of them niggas, man.
Nest of Tren de Aragua in a city like Chicago, they have a responsibility. They have an obligation to go get them. It is unfortunate, to answer your question, that there are children put in harm's way by these violent gangs. But that is going to be the reality.
Or is it
Is
unfortunate, or is it a violation of their rights? Is the question. Because I mean, in this country, we have rights against searches and
you're
illegal
suggesting
searches
these
and
children
seizure.
should be effectively
We have
human shields
right-
for Tren de Aragua, and I don't agree.
What I'm asking,
What about the rights of the black people that got to live under that shit? Y'all just keep dumping foreigners on them. Let's have a rights battle. Whose rights come first? The rights of the foreigners or the rights of the black people that live there?
hold on, I want to make it clear. I don't like, I know that Tren de Aragua and gangs and whatever, it's a catch-all to treat people however you want, to go in there and shred the Constitution or whatever else it is that you want to do. What I'm asking you is this. Do you think that children should have been zip-tied and pulled out of an apartment complex and traumatized like that? Yes or no?
I don't think children should be put in harm's way by transnational gangs.
Just answer the question. Yes or no? Do you think that children...
This is what I mean when I say moral fagging. If you were to look at an updated dictionary definition of moral fagging, they would have to put this moment right here. Because, you know, everything digital now, they can do that.
I didn't pulled out of an apartment complex and traumatized like that. Yes or no?
I don't think children should be put in harm's way by transnational gangs.
Just answer the question. Yes or no? Do you think that children...
I don't accept the premise of your question.
I'm asking
the
you...
government's...
Yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell. Like, this is one of those moments where you just like crush all of his spirit. I refuse to play this game with you, bro.
It's not putting children in harm's way. Tren de Aragua.
Real calm now. Real calm. Like
they're the ones putting children in harm's way.
Gentlemen and gentlemen, we have a responsibility for the way we treat people with the power that we have here in America. And we have a standard that we should treat human life with. And I'm asking you very clearly, concisely, should children be treated that way? Does Scott Jennings like that?
I don't accept the premise of your question.
All right, cool.
I don't believe that the premise of your question is accurate.
Yeah, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. Truth only say, don't trust a nigga with a hat on indoors. You look like you're running a credit card scam, bro. Let me check my wallet. Make sure you ain't swiping no credit card wand over me or some shit like that. Can't trust these niggas. You probably know where every camera is in the building already.
I would ask you back. Should children be allowed to live in an apartment building with Tren de Aragua? Should the entire community of Chicago have to live with Tren de Aragua because they hide behind these children?
But here's the thing.
That's my question.
I think the answer to that is clear.
Funny thing about them kids, just like that kid from the whole Shiloh Hendrix N-word in the park situation, because we never actually see the kids, 99% chance that the kid's a foreigner. Those kids are already on a boat back to Mexico right now, or Venezuela.
Here, no, they should not be put in harm's way. But the difference is in this situation is I don't want to be Tren de Aragua. I don't want my law enforcement to act like Tren de Aragua. That is the distinction.
You don't want to leave it? Do you just want to leave it and say, well, they have kids in there, let's just move on?
No, but can't law enforcement figure out a way? I don't think this is the first time.
They figured out a way. That was the way they did it. They literally figured out a way. All right, we're gonna lock this building down. Nobody's gonna get hurt. We're gonna get the people that we need to get, and we're gonna release everybody else, and then we're gonna leave. They figured it out. They found a way, and here you are complaining about shit. This is why everybody is getting sick of y'all, bitch. I swear, it's shit like this, man. Everybody is getting tired of y'all.
These angry, mad, opportunistic, lying black women.
Children have been in an environment where dangerous people have been around them. And I'm most certain that in most of those circumstances, those children aren't zip tied and carried out like animals. What I am wondering is, okay, let's put this fact.
And notice something about the moment, whether it's the man or the woman the black man or the black woman in this situation, notice how the vast majority of their argumentation is essentially shaming and moral fagging and status positioning. You know, well, if you don't think like this, then I'm obviously a better person than you, Scott. And when you think about it, that is all the black argumentation really boils down to. It's moral fagging and positioning and shit, grandstanding and whatnot.
Pattern on any other placement. Let's put it on a school, right? What if there was a gang member in a school? And by this calculation, it would seem like the children in the school, in order to get that one gang member or two gang members,
Handcuff the
would
whole
get.
biology
It's not
class.
one gang member. It's 37
Well,
people
let's say
in an apartment
there's
building.
Scott, it's a
five.
large apartment building. That's part of the fact pattern here. I mean, here's another one from our reporting. Tenants said it appears everyone in the building was detained by federal officers, including U.S. citizens. It was scary, said one, because I had.
That's called police work. There is no other way to do that kind of thing. You lock the building down by locking the whole building down. No one goes in, no one goes out. And we talk to anybody that we see. We figure them out. Who are you? What's your name? You have ID? Okay, wait over here. And then we let you go if you're not the right guy.
Never had a gun in my face. That person lives in the building. They asked my name and my date of birth and asked me, did I have any warrants? I told them, no, I didn't. Fisher, this person says she was handcuffed anyway before being released around 3 a.m. and was told anyone with outstanding warrants, even if it was unrelated to immigration, would not be released. So in the, again,
Please,
like people
seriously.
live in apartment buildings all over
You
this
see
country.
Van over there about to shed real tears. Scott, really, Scott, come on. Are you not going to feel bad? Scott's like, nope, I'm too white for this shit.
In the again,
Please,
like people
seriously.
live in apartment buildings all over this country.
I promise that.
Is that where
Hold on, wait a second.
Should I just go to an apartment building and hide?
Wait. I'm talking about the way that citizen of this country was treated. By the way, I just want to be clear. I think that everybody that's created in the image of God should be treated with respect. And I thought that part of the American ideal was that, but that's gone. I promise y'all will still be invited to Mar-a-Lago if you say that it is wrong that children were zip tied and that American people, American citizens were detained without any warrant or suspicion.
Briefly detained? In
How long is okay?
an effort to get 37
Give me that.
Trinidad
Okay,
Aragua members?
So tell me.
What you're suggesting is that no
okay.
enforcement can take place.
okay?
So can
You're
are you?
suggesting no
Would you be
enforcement can
okay
take
being
place.
detained? So
You don't need a warrant to be detained. Anytime you've been pulled over by the police, you are being detained for that moment. And you know how you know you're being detained? Because if you decide to drive away at any moment before he tells you to, now it's a crime. You are being detained. It's a very, very common thing to be detained momentarily if you think about it. Anybody who drives a car long enough has been detained momentarily by the cops. Hell, just 2 days ago, I'm coming through the Lincoln Tunnel and fucking DOT pulls me over for a random inspection. The shit took like 20 minutes, like goddamn. Started to wonder if I had a warrant or something I forgot about. Like, what the hell's taking so long? Shit. Sometimes you get detained.
the gang members, would you be okay with your rights being violated and you be held until 3 a.m. with your family member not knowing why? Is that okay? Because that's not okay with me.
Everybody here seems to believe that if you're Trinidad Aragua, you can go hide in an apartment building, and because there are other people there, you just get to be left alone. That is not a reasonable enforcement position.
There's another option here, and it's actually an option that's utilized by law enforcement every single day in this country. When they are looking for violent people, they go look for those violent people. They do not subject the people around those violent people who have nothing to do with them with arrest, with guns in their faces, with being searched with.
Now here's the thing, nobody else has a better plan, right? Because like the only other option is like you just wait by the door and hopefully the guy you're looking for, he either comes in or he goes out while you're waiting there. Like, what is the better plan? It'd be one thing if it turned into a giant shootout like in some cop movie where some dude lost his life, like Demolition Man or some shit like that. If this shit turned into a giant shootout, it'd be different. But it was technically a very clean, painless operation. It was uncomfortable. Some people probably had their houses tossed up. You know, some illegals had their houses tossed up for, you know, searches and shit like that. But relatively painless operation. I was trying to say painless, right? They did this shit real clean, technically. And all you're doing is crying about it. Do you have a better plan for how to arrest all these people?
Being zip tied and handcuffed and detained every day in America. Law enforcement does their jobs and they don't do it like this. So why is suddenly this okay?
Every day in America, you're not necessarily dealing with the most violent people in the hemisphere.
Yes, we're not.
Who is living in this
Scott, there are violent people who are right here in this country, American citizens. They are in gangs. They were born here. Their parents were born here. Their grandparents were born here.
Believe me, we know.
Those people are dealt with by law enforcement every day. Again, it's a
and you cry, you bitch about that shit. Every time a nigga gets shot by the police, you're going to make it a whole like drama. So maybe it's not us. Maybe it's just you.
Real basic question. If you lived in an apartment building and there happened to be somebody who was guilty of a terrible crime in that building and law enforcement barged in, guns blazing, and put every single person in that apartment building under arrest, you would be fine with that, including you and your family.
Not everybody is under arrest. They arrested 37 people. They arrested 37.
I mean, at the end of it all, I would be glad they took this crazy nigga out of our apartment building. Could you imagine living in an apartment building where like some wanted serial killer or some shit like that, and like everybody's afraid to talk to him? Don't nobody want to call the police on him. And then one day the feds just show up, lock the building down, and take him out of there. You'd be glad after that shit's over. Like, it'd be a rough moment, but when it's done, it'd be like, yes, finally. I've been wanted you to come get that nigga.
This person,
you said everybody.
This person,
It's 37
this person was sleeping in their bed and they were detained. They were put in handcuffs and detained.
Neither you nor I was there. Neither you nor I were there.
No,
but I know this. Now 37
you and your family,
violent
Scott,
people are now off the street.
Scott, you and your family, you are in an apartment building. You and your family, you would be fine with your liberty being held up, your kids, your wife, your children, being detained for any amount of time because somebody in that building was a criminal. You'd be fine with that?
You are vastly oversimplifying what's happening here. There are scores of illegal immigrants.
I think sometimes we have to simplify things so that we actually understand what we're talking about. Because I do think that this is a problem now for the rest of the country. People are going about their lives and they are not responsible for the crimes of other people. And yet,
remember that building in Colorado? I think it might have been 2 buildings in Colorado where Tren de Aragua, they like locked down the building. They tried to tell us it wasn't happening, right? Like, how do you deal with problems like that? You have to go in heavy.
that in this world in which ICE is operating like this, they are being detained for other people's crimes. Willingness to accept a whole lot of collateral violation of rights of anybody, whether you're American citizens or not, because there are many rights in this country that are in the Constitution that it doesn't matter if you're a citizen or not, you're still entitled to them.
Yeah, my poor rights.
They have rights!
They have rights! So fucking what, man?
All right, so let me help you out with this one, okay? Since you don't get it. I literally live around the corner from where that happened at, okay? And not all black people were detained. It was just a couple of black folks in a building that nobody was supposed to be in. Yeah, they didn't tell you that narrative, that nobody was supposed to be in that building. Nobody. Also, that's a building full of clucks. You do know what clucks is, right? Also, the Venezuelans went through that building and took over the whole building. Not forcefully, but they just started moving in apartments they ain't had no business moving into. Also, it's a lot of Venezuelans that look black. You know, like Cubans and Dominicans. There are some Venezuelans that look black. So guess what? If you didn't have your ID or no proof that you had residency there, then yes, they were detaining you. Because number one, you weren't supposed to be in the building. Number two, the landlord don't own the building no more. The bank owned that building. Number three, it was a gang of Venezuelans in all apartments that weren't even supposed to be in them apartments. So hell yeah, they detained everybody so they can sort it out and find out who is who. That's what happened. So once again, I'm still with deportation of the immigration, of the immigrants.
Black people, we've seen stories about, I guess, Black people getting caught up in the illegal immigrant raids in Chicago. I'm gonna tell you, because none of your Black leaders or Black pundits or Black media personalities, none of them are going to tell you anything. So I'm gonna tell you, please stay out of the way of ICE. Let them do their jobs. Stay out of their way, because your lives are disposable under Democrat leadership. The same way they let you guys just kill each other and murder each other all day, every day in the streets, the same way they'll let you guys get murdered and be a casualty on behalf of an illegal immigration raid. In fact, more than likely, they're hoping that something like that happens so they can stir up an entire race of people. So, word of advice, stay out of the way. This has nothing to do with us. Let ICE do their job.
Look, we see the play, bro. You're not going to line me up for Jorge. I'm not about to bust nothing open for Jorge. Jorge got his own problems, bro. Jorge got his own country to fall back on. He got his own people. Jorge don't need me to do nothing for him.
What's up? Move up on me again. Step back. Step back. I'm moving over. I'm on a public road.
Then you got your hand behind your back like that, bro. You're doing bad right now. You're doing real bad right now. You're supposed to leave that nigga alone. He got a big ass gun and he got dreadlocks, man. You should have read the room.
How you doing? What's up? Move up on me again. Step back. Step back. I'm moving over. I'm on a public road.
He's not doing anything. You're saying that. No! He's not doing anything. He's not doing anything.
Well, that was a bad takedown, bro.
He's not doing anything.
Come on, that was a shitty takedown, but I like the effort, though. You get an E for effort. You get another E for enthusiasm, but shitty technique.
Over there. No, I'm gonna stand right here. He's not doing. I'm gonna stand right here. I'm gonna stand right here. I'm gonna stand right here. He's not doing anything.
Let me give you my other hand. Now. How you doing?
But then, you always got your scared old niggas, too. There's a little civil war happening in Black America right now. That's why I like the Black conservatives are such a threatening bunch right now. And it's mostly Black men leading the charge on the right. But we're kind of upsetting the apple cart. But then, you always got the scared old niggas. Wait, I think I lost sound there. Wait a minute. Let me stop that.
Black parents with teenage children, please listen up. I have a message just for you. More than 2 million African Americans voted for Trump. And that's a major reason why we're in the mess we're in today under this white supremacist agenda. Many of those votes came from young Black men ages 18 to 27. And if you're like me, you're asking, why would they vote for Trump despite his racism?
You know why? Because in the grand scheme of things, I don't think racism is the biggest sin of all. Like, I have friends who are probably murderers. I know they've shot people. I mean, who am I to judge somebody else's racism? You know what I mean? I've lived a colorful life. I've seen a lot of human nature. And all I'm saying is, in the grand scheme of things that a person can do that are bad, racism is kind of low down on the list of things that you could do.
And here's the answer. Because of disinformation, which are lies designed to mislead our community, especially our youth. And much of it is coming from Trump, MAGA, and what I call pro-Black imposters on social media. These pro-Black imposters pretend to have our best interests at heart, but they're really working against us. That's why every parent of Black teenagers has a moral obligation to teach their teenage children 5 lessons. First, teach them that every founder of this nation was a white supremacist who believed God cursed us and created us inferior.
You see, this the bullshit that Black people, that shit, bro. This is the spirit of Negro-ness right here, man. This is the shit that I be arguing against all the time.
Second, then teach your children, your teenagers especially, that those white supremacists wrote the Constitution itself with white supremacy laws to keep white supremacists in power and Black people oppressed and powerless.
Now you see how, and this is what I mean about Black folk have a shitty origin story. Like, a lot of Black folk genuinely look at it this way, and so in their mind, and then in the minds of the children they would be teaching this to, your origin, therefore your identity, is white man been kicking my ass this whole time. That's not a powerful, aspirational, inspirational origin story. Like, the only way you could feel good about yourself is if you finally defeat the proverbial white man. This is like some born to lose shit. That's why I don't teach my kids shit like this.
Third, white supremacists and their pro-Black imposter allies prey on ignorance. They target low information voters. Fourth, the best defense against this is critical thinking. And that requires education, strong reading skills, and a deep understanding of the Black struggle for equality from Africa to America. Fifth.
You see, no. That's another thing. We not Africans, bro. They not like us, man. We have the benefit of being born at the forefront of Western technology and culture. They're still learning over there. They have a long way to go. We're a whole other type of thing. Black Americans are like Negro prime. It's the best that ever did it, bro. I swear to God.
Tell your children, and you keep in mind, don't rely on the school system alone. Teach your children to be ferocious readers, to study experts and scholars, not social media influences with no real expertise and scholarship in the Black struggle. And most importantly, tell them to study the Bible, because it shows how another marginalized group, the Jews, overcame slavery.
God, see, niggas want to be the hats, bro. I swear to God, that is one thing. That's like the weirdest little thing about Black people, Black culture, and like this desire to put the hat on. I swear to God, you have no idea what happens under that hat, bro. Don't be so quick to wear the hat. You can be your own man.
In centuries of violence, hatred, and bigotry. And remember what Frederick Douglass said: you cannot enslave an educated person. So parents, teach your children these truths, because our freedom and that of our children depend on it. And remember, stay woke.
Stay woke, y'all. Hashtag stay woke.
Back to Broadview now, where village officials sent a strong message to the feds this week. They do not want ICE operating its detention center in their town.
Now the Broadview police chief says ICE agents are draining the resources of his department and the community by making false 911 calls. And what you are about to see is one of them. Our Dave Savini investigates.
Yeah. You are watching as Broadview police respond to a 911 call, claiming someone was tampering with a gate at the ICE detention facility there. Body camera footage obtained by the CBS News Chicago investigators shows several Broadview police officers respond to an alleged Homeland Security threat. The gate in question is where ICE takes detained immigrants for processing.
What's up, guys?
Hey, what's up?
Not much.
How are you?
Good. We got a call of subjects trying to climb over the fence or something.
No, not since we've been here. But when police arrive, all they find is two people and a camera.
They trying to say that ICE is pranking them, y'all. Now here's the drama. This is the quote T, if it could be called that, right? Brandon Johnson has put out like a no cooperate order with local PD, so nobody in the Chicago PD authority is allowed to interact with ICE or whatever. And so now allegedly, like, there was a whole incident where I think the National Guard or somebody was calling for backup. Some type of federal troop was calling for backup. And then the Chicago PD like ignored the whole thing. They gave them a stand down order and it was all recorded live on the radio. So apparently the agency's got drama. So what they're trying to say right now is that the feds are trolling the local cops right now with unnecessary 911 calls.
CBS photographer filming the exterior of the building with a CBS
good,
security
Dr.
guard by
Thunder.
his side.
Okay, and you guys didn't tamper with any of the...
No, man. The 911 call claiming someone was tampering with the gate came from an ICE agent. According to this incident report, an ICE agent called police for help.
But he can't go and try to force his way into that door.
Okay, so the guy in the
He
blue-
just says
No,
that
the
he
guy
was
in the-
just recording. Camera.
Do you believe that that was a false call?
I do.
Again, it was just our CBS photographer filming the exterior of the building.
In your mind, bogus. Yes. It's disturbing. It's ridiculous.
Broadview Police Chief Thomas Mills says this is just one of several questionable 911 calls his police department has received from ICE at this facility recently. Listen as responding officers also question the validity of the 911 call.
It sure doesn't look like anybody's forcing anything in any fence over here.
The deployment of tear gas, pepper spray, mace, and rubber bullets by ICE near the processing center in the village of Broadview is creating a dangerous situation for the community.
This same detention center has become the site of at least 3 other incidents involving federal agents who are accused of hitting people with cars, shooting projectiles, and using chemical agents on journalists, including a CBS reporter last Sunday.
I immediately felt it burning. I started throwing up, was able to drive a little bit, and then I had to park.
Asal Razai, our reporter, driving her car with a window open and to be struck like that. What do you feel about that?
It's horrific.
He's demanding ICE turn over the names of all federal officers involved in each incident and says he's ready to take ICE to court.
Are we going to look at maybe reaching out to Cook County State's for subpoenas?
Oh nah, this nigga on the wrong side. This nigga a op, y'all.
That nigga gay, nigga gay, nigga gay, nigga gay, nigga gay.
As easy as that. The chief also says he's now reviewing all 911 calls made from the facility.
It's actually a violation of law. It's disorderly. It would be classified as disorderly conduct, filing a false official report.
The Broadview police chief says the Department of
I want to snitch on them. They filed a false report. Yeah, this is a crime. Nigga, that's some in-house shit. That is some in-house police on police type shit. Y'all supposed to handle that shit on a professional level. You ain't got no get back. Y'all use a bitch ass nigga. That's why they was calling you a coward and a punk ass nigga the other day. Now I see why. Because I remember I played the clip of that shit when they was calling him a bitch ass nigga. Now I see why they call you a bitch ass nigga. You a little rat ass nigga. Hey, oh, I think this is a crime. This is against the law. Nigga, that is interagency beef, bro. You supposed to handle that shit like a G, bro. You a little hoe-ass nigga with a badge.
In a lengthy conversation with the I-Team, Broadview Police Chief Thomas Mills says he was verbally attacked by an ICE agent during a protest outside of the immigration processing facility earlier this month. This is the mayor of Broadview just issued a scathing letter to ICE, accusing agents of regularly exposing local police to tear gas.
I've been doing this job a long time now, but I was shocked. I've never been spoken to by a fellow law enforcement officer in such a way.
Broadview Police Chief Thomas Mills says on top of requiring 75% of his department's manpower for crowd control outside of the ICE processing facility in the west suburban city, he was personally, verbally attacked by ICE agents during a protest.
I'm a leader of a department. I know that my office is looking at me for guidance and leadership, and
They talk to you like a bitch in front of your men. You probably deserve that shit. You was probably acting like a hoe right in front of everybody. It wasn't even a type of moment where they could pull you to the side and do that shit. Like, nah, we got to have this out right here, nigga.
To ensure that, I had to stay calm and not engage in such unprofessional behavior.
Chief Mills says he was walking across a skirmish on September 12th, the day this video was shot. He was called multiple expletives by an ICE agent, calling him a coward, accusing him of neglecting his duties during protests that got physical. Mills also telling the I-Team about an incident earlier this week where a pedestrian was hit by a truck near the ICE facility.
Allegedly, a ICE agent struck someone and continued on into their location.
Hey, man, we got to get them all. Got to catch them all, bro. What you wanted them to stop? That's not what's happening. We not doing that no more. Got to catch them all, bro. We figure it out later.
And during the course of that, while trying to gather information, there was pepper spray release while my officers right there. They felt the effects of that pepper spray where it altered their vision. They were coughing, and I was on the phone with them, and they had to leave the area so they can decontaminate themselves.
Now, Broadview's mayor has issued a blistering letter to ICE excoriating their actions, saying, quote, Broadview police officers are routinely being exposed to ICE agents' tear gas volleys, forcing them out of action until they recover. Broadview firefighters and ambulance personnel are being exposed. Nearby residents are being exposed. Beleaguered Broadview residents are begging for relief from your center's siege of our neighborhood. And Congressman Chuy Garcia weighing in on potential conflict between local law enforcement and ICE.
You cannot you just come in and act as a cowboy doing whatever they want, running roughshod over people. You need to treat people with dignity and respect, and that's not happening.
It almost feels like Chicago wants to line the police up so they can have some type of conflict with the feds. Listen to this. Wait. All right. Why does my sound keep dropping? Let's try this again.
Okay. Any kind of particular hairstyle, just younger male Hispanic on foot wearing all black?
No hairstyle.
Okay, 10-4. And one is for the hit and run. This guy fled from the scene at 37th Place in Kedzie. It all started at I-55 in Kedzie. Then they fled southbound at Kedzie, where that offending vehicle crashed. They ran the federal agent off the road. They fled on foot westbound 37th Place from Kedzie. It was a male Hispanic younger wearing all black clothing. 99.
Yeah, send the cars in that direction. Have them stay put 2 or 3 blocks away, all right? Have them hold tight until I give you further direction, please.
Okay, 10-4. And for the units responding to 39th Place in Kedzie per 999, if you guys can just, for the units responding to 39th Place in Kedzie, if you guys can start heading there as quick as you can, and then just hold tight for instructions with 999.
You're 999.
999.
Put the chief of patrol, clear everybody up. We're not responding over there.
Radio tick. And again, per the chief of patrol, we have all the units that per 999. Chief of patrol said all units clear out from there. We're not sending anybody over to that location.
62, we're gonna clear out as soon as we can, Spot. We're like locked in over here, so we're gonna do the best we can to get.
Now, apparently, this is when the federal agents were blocked in by some lady, and they had to wind up shooting her. But nobody came for backup.
Out of here as soon as we can.
What happened today should disturb every law enforcement professional. An ICE vehicle was purportedly forced off the road on the south side of Chicago and crashed. The offender fled on foot. ICE called for assistance. The 9th District Ward Operations Lieutenant did exactly what any good supervisor should do. He ordered cars to respond, check for injuries, document the crash, and render aid. Moments later, about a block away, an ICE agent called out that they were being surrounded and boxed in by a mob. A clear officers need assistance situation. Again, 9th District Watch Operations Lieutenant orders units to respond. But before they could arrive, that same lieutenant came back over the radio and said that per the chief of patrol, officers were to stand down and not respond to assist the ICE agents. Let's be clear, the Illinois Trust Act and Chicago's welcoming city ordinance prohibit local officers from assisting in civil immigration enforcement, such as detaining someone solely for immigration status. Absolutely nothing in those laws prohibits officers from responding to an emergency, rendering medical aid, or protecting life and property. In fact, under Illinois law, every peace officer has a duty to render aid and a duty to intervene to prevent harm or injury when it is safe to do so. So that happened.
Federal agents, ICE, HSI, are officers. They are agents of law enforcement. If you box them in with vehicles, it is reasonable for them to believe that they are being ambushed and that this could end in a deadly situation. And it's reasonable for them to use force based on those conditions. Do not box in any law enforcement officer. You are breaking the law when you do that. And you are putting yourself in danger. Following law enforcement agents around. The question is why? What do you plan on doing? It's also reasonable for them to believe that you're eventually going to do harm to them. If you ram any vehicle, especially that one that contains law enforcement agents, and that's any law enforcement, local, state, federal, county, and you do this intentionally, this is considered deadly force. Deadly force is anything that can cause great bodily harm or death. When you plow into a vehicle that contains law enforcement agents, you're using deadly force. And they can use deadly force in response to stop you. We need to be clear about these laws. We cannot become a society where we just decide to take everything in our own hands and start to commit crimes against law enforcement. It is a crime. You may not like what they're doing. I can understand that there's a lot of emotions out there, but that does not mean that you get to commit a crime, especially one that could lead to deadly force. We need to keep everyone safe. Our responsibilities when it comes to federal agents, and I've been asked these questions, we do not interfere with the duties and responsibilities of federal agents. We don't have to agree with it. It doesn't matter. You don't have to agree with it. We do not interfere with their orders. And when they go out to carry out their orders, they will do that the way that they're trained to do it and their understanding of what it is they have to do. Another one, CPD.
And so now that everything's starting to spiral out of control in Chicago, things have escalated a little bit too quickly. Trump's like, you know what? We're sending in the guys.
Mind up on Chicago, though?
Well, we're going in. I didn't say when. We're going in. When you lose, look, I have an obligation. This isn't a political thing. I have an obligation. When we lose, when 20 people are killed over the last 2.5 weeks, and 75 are shot with bullets. So let me tell you a little story about a place called DC, District of Columbia, right here where we are. It's now a safe zone. We have no crime. It's in such great shape. You can go and actually walk with your children, your wife, your husband. You can walk right down the middle of the street. You're not going to be shot, Peter. You're safe. Everyone likes you anyway. They probably wouldn't do it. But it's so dangerous. And there are people in this audience that you've suffered greatly. There are people in this audience that have been mugged and hurt badly, and they don't want to talk about it. Maybe you were very brave in talking about it. You made quite an impression on a lot of people. I appreciate it. But there were other people in this room that have been hurt very badly just walking down the street in D.C. Washington, D.C. is a safe zone right now. It's a safe city. The restaurants are open. They're booming. You can't get a restaurant. New restaurants are announcing that they're going to be open. This took place in 12 days. Now it's 15 days, but 3 days ago, it became what's known as a safe zone. It's a safe city. And this city was really bad, really, really bad. We took 1,600 people out, hardcore criminals that will not be coming back anytime soon. And we're very proud of it. You know, to have our nation's capital lose every week, you know, it's like years.
You know, even though you can add Portland to the list, which is definitely not a black thing, but when you look at DC, Chicago, they're already in Memphis now. Donald Trump, which is, it's a bold thing for a president to do, and especially a white man in this particular climate. Donald Trump is actually grappling with black crime. And he's not really making it a black issue. He's not getting up there and he's not talking like we do on the podcast, like these niggas is out of control, right? He leaves that to us, but he's actually tackling the problem, though. And I don't think he actually is ever going to get, it's going to be a long time before anybody ever gives him the credit and respect he should get right now for being bold enough to actually tackle the problem and look it square in the eye. Even if he is going to say it without saying it, everybody knows who's going to bear the brunt of cracking down on crime. But at the same time, just about everybody knows that crime has kind of become a little bit too much to deal with in a lot of places, and you need to do something. And he's doing it. And he doesn't give a shit how many black people have to go to jail. Like, you got to respect that. That's gangster.
There's many years where every single week somebody was killed for many consecutive weeks. This went on for years. And then we had last week, it was announced that nobody was killed last week. And I made that announcement in front of a very distinguished leader of a country. And I'm saying proud.
When he says nobody was killed last week, again, saying it without saying it, right? None of you niggas got shot by none of you other niggas last week. And you can thank Donald Trump for that. Because statistically, in a town like DC, if somebody's going to get shot, it's probably going to be a black guy, and it's probably going to be by another black guy, because that's just how we give it up. But none of you niggas was doing that recently because Donald Trump, he came in there and got all gangster and shit. Now it's like, oh my God, I can't believe it's so scary out here. No, nobody's even shooting at me no more. These white people are going crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, nobody was killed in Washington, D.C. this week. He looked at me like, what's that all about? I say, yeah, we have a little bit of a crime problem, and we don't have a crime problem in Washington anymore. And the mayor has been very helpful, and the police commissioner has been very helpful, and it's been a great team. And I would love to have Governor Pritzker call me. I'd gain respect for him and say, we do have a problem, and we'd love you to send in the troops, because you know what? The people, they have to be protected. I saw today on one of your networks, not a friendly network, except really the opposite, I would say, very unfriendly network. And they interviewed about 12 people on this morning. Most of them were African American, who were black. And they were saying, please, please, please let the president send in. These were people from Chicago. Please, we need help. We need help. We can't walk outside. We're petrified. If the governor of Illinois would call me up, I would love to do it. Now, we're going to do it anyway. We have the right to do it because I have an obligation to protect this country. And that includes Baltimore. I saw where Governor Moore was asking me to take a walk down the street of Baltimore. Well, Baltimore is a very unsafe place. It's rated number 4 in the city, one of the most unsafe places anywhere in the world.
You see what I mean?
You know, we took care. This was a beautiful.
He's saying it without saying it. Like, none of you people were willing to deal with the problem of black crime that's just been out of control ever since the George Floyd era. Like, black crime is always a little bit of an issue, but shit's been crazy lately, and nobody wanted to deal with it. Because anybody who deals with it is going to get called racist, and they're going to start throwing all these isms and all these words at you. But he's doing it.
Thing that happened in Washington, because we showed that it could be done. And this wasn't just sending big, strong guys, and they are big and they are strong. You know, we had a great decision from the Supreme Court that had to do with sort of talent. It had to do with you are put down based on merit. You can hire based on merit. So merit for a soldier or for a policeman is strong, physically fit, having a certain ability, not a person that is woke and got the job through woke, but wasn't strong enough to lift a gun out of the holster, et cetera, et cetera. No, I looked at the police, as you know, last week I went over, we had a meeting there had to be 300 people, and they were all very impressive looking. And when the bad guys see them, they're not going to do a thing. And so I'm very proud of Washington. It serves as a template, and we're going to do it elsewhere. But Chicago is certainly going to be high. I would love to have him call. I would love the governor of Illinois. I'd be honored to take his call. All he has to do is say, sir, we need help. It's out of control. And everyone knows it is. He's not kidding anyone. I would love to have I would say Governor Moore call, because I watched him over the weekend trying to explain that Baltimore, what they need is housing. No, they don't need housing. They need to get rid of the criminals. These are hardcore criminals. You know, we took many people off the streets of Washington, D.C. They're hardcore. They're not going to be good. In 10 years, in 20 years, in 2 years, they're going to be criminals. They were born to be criminals, frankly. They were born to be criminals, and they're tough and mean, and they'll cut your throat, and they won't even think about it the next day. They won't even remember that they did it. And we're not going to have those people. Washington, D.C. is now a safe zone. It's a safe place. And you can walk, Katie, you can walk right down the street with, by the way, one of the biggest human beings I've ever seen, which is her husband. He was a football player for like 11 years in the NFL. He's a big person. But big doesn't mean anything when they have guns and when they have knives and everything else that they have, right? But you can walk right down the street, even by yourself, and you're totally safe. Washington, D.C. is a great thing. Yes, ma'am.
I tell y'all, Trump on his shit right now. Last time around, he didn't pull the trigger. And I think he regrets not pulling the trigger last time around. So this time around, he said, you know what? I'm pulling the trigger, man. I'm sending the boys in. I don't care what y'all say about me. I'm sending the boys in. This shit getting too crazy. You're not doing this on my name. You're going to put some respect on my name.
I refuse to let Donald Trump, Kristi Noem, and Gregory Bovino continue on this march toward autocracy. Their plan all along has been to cause chaos, and then they can use that chaos to consolidate Donald Trump's power. They think they can fool us all into thinking that the way to get out of this crisis that they created is to give them free rein. Well, that plan will only work if we let it. The state of Illinois is going to use every lever at our disposal to resist this power grab and get Noem's thugs the hell out of Chicago. I'm not afraid.
They acting like they want war, bro. You hear this shit?
The state of Illinois is going to use every lever at our disposal to resist this power grab and get Noem's thugs the hell out of Chicago. I'm not afraid. I am not afraid, and I won't back down.
You hear this?
I refuse to let Donald Trump.
I'm not afraid to take a stand. This nigga up there trying to rally the troops and shit. Him and Brandon. God, I hate you, Brandon.
This administration has tried to.
You ruined a perfectly good name, by the way. Brandon was a decent name until Joe Biden came along with the "Let's Go Brandon," and then now we got an actual Brandon. Just ruined a perfectly good name.
This administration is trying to divide us and pit people groups against one another. They want to divide and conquer. And as I said, in the South Shore, and this has been said very clearly, Black people in one van and immigrants in another. In the face of this unprecedented threat, this moment calls for unity. Black, brown, white, Asian, young, old, north side, west side, south side, we must all pull aside our differences and defend one another, because if we allow this to continue to be unchecked, by the time we realize what's happening, it'll be too late. And this executive order is a step towards accountability and is calling for the basic rule of law. In the coming days and weeks, we may be pushed, if not forced, to take even more dramatic action if this administration continues to escalate and provoke our people.
What you gonna do, Brandon? What you gonna do, huh? You gonna start some shit? Listen, you want to start some shit? Just let me know if you're trying to start some shit. Because I think you got the right one. I think you done found the right time, the right place, the right guy. You want to pick a fight? I think you should go for it, Brandon.
Fuck you. War.
Let's go, Brandon.
In closing, last night I spoke with the governor, and he informed me that the Trump administration is deploying Texas National Guard to our city. We will speak to our response later today. We'll do that with the governor as well as the attorney general. For now, let me just say that we are unequivocally going to continue to reject the military occupation of our city. The Trump administration must end the war on Chicago.
Nope, can't stop, won't stop. It's over when we tell you it's over. You should have solved this problem. This is what you get for having a sanctuary city. You don't get to say when it's over. You don't get to tell me when to stop.
Make it stop. Make the hurt stop, please. Like,
You don't get to tell anybody when it's over. You see that? This is like an actual pig woman. Holy shit. I just looked behind him. Look right here behind him over his shoulder here on the left side of your screen. This is an actual pig person. Like a genetically modified human pig hybrid. It's like man bear pig, but a woman though. Wow. They have all kinds of crimes against nature happening. It's like the Isle of Dr. Moreau behind Brandon Johnson right now. Like, what's going on the other side of him? Who's this angry, unhappy thing over here? This is like the Isle of Dr. Moreau back here. Just all kind of interesting life forms and shit. Jesus Christ. We really got to rescue. We got to rescue Chicago. Chicago has been invaded by aliens. It's been invaded by aliens and creatures from the multiverse, bro. We have to rescue Chicago. There's something really, really bad happened in Chicago. It's been overrun by spiteful mutants, bro. We're going to have to go in there with like the Avengers and the Ninja Turtles, man. This is not enough. The National Guard, I don't think the National Guard is enough. We're going to have to call in the actual superheroes, man. We need Spider-Man. We need to call Deadpool. We got to get a lot of the interesting superheroes in here, man. We might need Batman. I don't think the National Guard can save Chicago. Now that I get a look at what's going on here, now that I look at the leadership, I'm like, nah, there's like a problem for the Justice League, bro. We need Doctor Strange. We need all the people. Like, how do you defeat Man Bear Pig's wife? Like, I don't think the National Guard is equipped for this. Like, you ever see what happens to the National Guard when they got to fight one of these motherfuckers, bro? They get destroyed. They be getting murdered until Wonder Woman shows up, bro. Like, nah, you can't just send the National Guard out here when it's this type of shit going on. No, stop. Stop, back Captain Planet. Yeah, bro, get him in here too. Get him in here too. Even though I realized he was the superhero for the gays, but bring that nigga in there too, bro. We need all hands on deck. Let him knock out some of the gay protesters, bro. Space Ghost, get everybody in on this shit, bro. Yeah, we gotta get Space Ghost. Yo, we need Space Ghost, man. Goddamn. This shit bad out here, bro. This nigga got his own event. He got his own Dark Avengers behind him, bro. This nigga said, "Get Mighty Mouse." We gotta call everybody, bro. We call it everybody. This nigga got his own Dark Avengers, man. I don't think the National Guard ready. I don't think the National Guard is ready. Oh, Darkwing Duck, that's a good one. Yeah. They're not even going to see him coming. He get dangerous, bro. He gets dangerous. We need Darkwing. I don't think Man Bear Pig is ready for Darkwing. Bro, listen. They should have sent Duke Nukem to that apartment building. Wouldn't nobody be around to complain about shit, bro. They should have sent Duke Nukem in there. That's how you save Chicago, bro. You got to put together a team. Like fucking Tony Stark, not Tony Stark, like Nick Fury, bro. You gotta Nick Fury this shit. You said Master Chief. You gotta send a Halo drop squad into Chicago. That's really what they did to that one building, bro. They had to send the government version of a Halo drop squad to just one building in Chicago. You see what I mean? You have to now kind of blanket like almost the whole city, really a large chunk of the city, right? Because the rich white parts is cool, but you really do need a lot of people. You need, you got to send Liam Neeson in that motherfucker. You got to send Liam Neeson. Tell Liam Neeson one of these Chicago YNs stole his daughter, bro. You got to get Liam Neeson in there too, man. So the Expendables. Listen, we gotta get all the versions of Stallone. We gotta get Rocky. We gotta get Rambo. We gotta get the cop from Cobra. We got to get Stallone from Expendables. I mean, we got to bring the Tulsa King and his little crew of weird gangsters too. We need all the Stallones, bro. We need a lot of help. We need all hands on deck, bro. I'm sending up the flag, bro. All of my childhood heroes, bro. We got to get Apollo Creed up in this bitch. We need everybody. He said Starsky and Hutch. Yo, we need everybody, bro. This nigga Brandon Johnson said, I finally got a plan to defeat Trump. He got the perfect team. It's all on you, man, bear pig lady. Mr. T. Bro. Time cop. Bro, we gotta get everybody in this bitch. Maverick and Iceman gonna do the air cover, bro, because you know niggas be needing air support. Got Maverick and Iceman doing air support, keeping the skies clear. These YNs got money. One of these niggas might have a Cessna or some shit like that. That's gonna be the next level of YNs. Niggas gonna be doing drive-bys and helicopters and shit. We need air cover, bro. We need it all. Bruce Leroy. We need everybody, bro. Right. Brandon Johnson listening to this like, yeah, you guys have an army. I have a trans bear pig. Like, listen, I think we need even more, bro. It might not be enough. I'm looking at the screen and I'm hearing all the names, bro. It might not be enough for trans bear pig, bro. You got Goose, Maverick, and Airwolf. We got to send MacGyver on a Black Ops mission. The Thundercats. What was that other cartoon with the cats that had the two jets that could fly around? We need those two. What was the Wildcats or some shit like that, bro? We need all the teams, bro. We need all the superhero teams, man. We need everybody. We need all the Joes. Somebody call up all the Joes, bro. We need GI. We need all the Joes. Voltron. We gotta call up everybody, bro. This bitch is intimidating, right? Like, I don't even want to fight her by myself, bro. I'm not fighting her unless I get a Voltron suit, bro. The SWAT cats, that's who that was. Shout out to the SWAT cats, bro. We need all the air supports, man. Listen, I'm looking at Chicago right now, and this shit is looking a little dangerous because between this little Dark Avengers squad they got and all the Venezuelans and the random YNs, bro, we need to call up. Like, I think the National Guard gonna need some help, bro. The National Guard gonna need some help, bro. We need a lot of people to deal with just man, bear, pig, trans pig, whatever that thing is right there. I don't even know how you fight that. We need all the magic people too. Don't forget the magic people. We might have to go to the dark arts. We might have to go to like the dark home or some shit to fight trans bear pig over there because this shit looking unorthodox, bro. Said a pit named Slickback. We need you remember that scene in The Professional where the one cop right at the end where the cop he called for backup and he was like, send everybody. And then the guy on the radio was like, what do you mean send everybody? And he was like, everybody. Like, that's how you save Chicago, bro. Look at this shit, bro. We need everybody. Everybody, bro. Said the dude that shot Malcolm. So we got one last job for you, bro. We're going to take some time off for you. Oh man, I'm sorry. I needed a drink. I couldn't. I was about to die over here. I gotta drink straight from the bottle right now. I'm racking my brain. We up here trying to build the super team. Like This is the most incredible team that's ever been built before. Like, I'm glad this is all live and recorded for posterity. By the power of the Gulag, we have combined the most epic team ever. And I'm not even sure it might be enough. We need the entire clone army. Fuck, we need the Jedi, bro. I want Qui-Gon Jinn. I want the Samuel Jackson Jedi with the purple shit. I want all the Jedi. We need Cobra Kai. Why the fuck did you just say Ron Paul? What the fuck is Ron Paul gonna do, bro? Ron Paul gonna go to Chicago and lower their taxes, bro. Chill. We send Ron in afterwards. Ron is a cleanup guy. You thinking too hard right now, all right? I want Jack Reacher. Not the Tom Cruise Jack Reacher. I want the big giant motherfucker, right? We need the big Jack Reacher. I want all the versions of Clint Eastwood. I want the good Clint Eastwood. I want the bad Clint Eastwood, the ugly Clint Eastwood. We need all the Clints, bro. Tell him to bring all of his little 6-shooters and shit. These YNs ain't never seen a Peacemaker before. That Peacemaker hits you, you don't never get up again. You know what? I think we rounded out the list right there. Somebody finally found the right person to lead them all. Everybody that you just named, Megatron, Morpheus, Neo. No. All the Chuck Norrises are actually one Chuck Norris. You don't understand, Father Nancy. Chuck Norris is not actually an actor who plays different guys in movies. Chuck Norris just goes around doing Chuck Norris shit and people record it and make movies out of it, bro. There's only one Chuck Norris, man. You build this army and you let Chuck Norris lead them into Chicago, and I think we finally have hope. I think we finally have hope. Oh, and Dr. Manhattan, he can be like the co-pilot. Because, you know, even Dr. Manhattan takes orders from Chuck Norris. There's no other way. Said the Marquis of Death. We need Gore the God Butcher. I'm telling you, by the power of Chuck, I think we can do it, bro. I think we can do it. I think we finally built a strong enough army. We need all of the heroes and Chuck Norris, bro. If we put all the heroes together and Chuck Norris, I think we have at least a 51% chance, you know, because even Chuck, you know, Chuck can only do so much. Chuck can do damn near infinite things, but, you know, that's a trans bear pig. I don't think even Chuck's had to fight a trans bear pig before. Like, it's gonna be close, bro. But no matter what happens, it's gonna be epic. It's gonna be epic, bro. Because god damn, Brandon, you really asking for some shit, bro. You really is. Gonna need the Mau Mau. Gonna need all the Cambodian warriors. We're gonna have to get everybody in this shit. The warriors. Gonna have to call them all up, bro.
The Trump administration must end this war against Americans. The Trump administration must end its attempt to dismantle our democracy. Right as we are making historic progress in reducing violence, the Trump administration is seeking to destabilize our city and provoke chaos.
Bro, I told you he got he got his own Dark Avengers squad, bro. He got a trans bear pig on one side of him. There's a goblin on the other side. He got an elf that turned to the dark side. That's like a female elf that went to the dark side on his shoulder. He got a fucking Jeep behind him, bro. He's got his own Dark Avengers here. Got an in-house Jeep. Bro, they got to be taken down, bro. They have to be taken down. He's got goblins and man bear pigs and dark elves and jeets and shit, bro. How is the nigga not evil? How is this nigga not evil? Look at his team. You gonna look at this man and you gonna look at his team. You gonna tell me this nigga not evil, bro? The anti-white Avengers, bro. Fucking hell. This nigga, how is this nigga not evil? Look at his team. Look who we roll with, bro. Look who you roll with. How you gonna tell me you not evil? You gotta smite you niggas, man. We're gonna say a prayer. We're gonna get blessed by an Orthodox preacher. We're gonna smite the hell out of you niggas.
Get it again. Okay, I'm gonna say it again. I come in the name of Jesus. Repeat it after me, bitch. I come in the name of Jesus by the power of the Holy Spirit.
We said that they would use ICE as a pretext to send in the National Guard. And now they are doing just that. I've also said for the last couple of years that the extreme right in this country refused to accept the results of the Civil War. They have repeatedly called for a rematch. But in the coming weeks, we will use this opportunity to build greater resistance.
So they calling for a rematch to the Civil War, and you're like, I got my squad right here. What's up? Is that what I'm hearing? They calling for a rematch to the Civil War, and you got your squad ready, ganged up. Like, look at Transbear Pig. She looked like she just ate a white person this morning. She just ate a white child. She ready for war. She fully charged up. Adrenochrome popping. You want to fight a second Civil War? Let's go.
Of the Civil War. And now they are doing just that. I've also said for the last couple of years that the extreme right in this country refused to accept the results of the Civil War.
Yeah, yes, Carmen, that is a septum ring. Septum theory it's about as accurate as my beta theory. I mean, that's what I'm telling you. Like, how are they not evil? Look at these people. There's an army of overpowered, spiteful mutants. We have to stop them now. If we don't fight them in Chicago, we'll have to fight them over here, bro. All right, we gotta be on some George Bush shit. If we don't fight them over there, we gotta fight them over here. That's why we have to invade Chicago.
They have repeatedly called for a rematch. But in the coming weeks, we will use this opportunity to build greater resistance. Chicagoans are clear. Militarizing our troops in our city as justification to further escalate a war in Chicago will not be tolerated. The past teaches us that just because we are on the right side of history, that doesn't mean that we will succeed. It's going to take courage and determination.
You know that white man gonna murder you, right? You already know the white man gonna murder him. I started a war with the white man. This nigga gonna kill me.
Fuck you. War.
Oh man, Trump gonna invade Chicago. Bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Why is Man Bear Pig looking at me like that? God, fuck. Ah. I think Man Bear Pig has that like Medusa thing. Don't look it in the eyes, y'all. Do not look the Trans Bear Pig in the eyes. You might turn into stone. See, right now, this is all like we're protected by the power of digital magic or whatever. If this was a one-on-one real life encounter, I think that's how the Trans Bear Pig kills you. It freezes you if you look it in the eye, and then it gores you to death with the septum piercing thing. Don't look it in the eye.
Bravery, unity. But one thing that I know for sure in this great nation, this moment that we are in, Chicago was built for this moment. Immigrants from around the world, descendants of slaves, have come to this city to make it the global capital of the world. And now we stand in a moment that is testing our very humanity, and the city of Chicago will stand the test of time. Thank you very much.
It does look like the pig from Angry Birds. I bet if we threw it at a building, that shit would crumble instantly. See, this nigga Brandon, he got all kind of war weapons we haven't even heard of. This nigga building like Sauron's Dark Army in Chicago right now. He just begging to be invaded, bro. Chicago looking like Mordor right now. No lie. No lie. This shit is looking like Mordor. We have to invade this shit. Sauron's army is growing. We have to strike before the forces of Sauron grow too powerful. Riders of Rivendell, we have to launch an attack on the Transbear Pig in its Fortress of Doom. It is the only way. We have an army. We have a Chuck Norris. Now is the time to strike.
In Portland and Chicago this week, resulting in several arrests. This as Portland becomes the next target for the Trump administration to deploy the National Guard as part of President Trump's crime crackdown. Christina Coleman is here with the latest. Hi, Christina.
Hi, Mike. Portland police says their rapid response team arrested 2 men who refused to get out of the street and engaged in aggressive behavior toward each other during the protests last night. Also, the DOJ is launching an investigation into the arrest of independent conservative journalist Nicholas Sorter. He was one of a number of people arrested Thursday night by Portland police during the protests. After he was released from jail, he told Fox News that he never expected to get arrested.
I'm being jumped by Antifa thugs. I get back up, I stumble away and go back toward cops where I think, at least, all right, well, maybe that'll be a safer place for me to go.
Also in Portland, during the ongoing violence outside the ICE facility there, a fistfight broke out between an ICE supporter and anti-ICE protester Thursday night. Police were not there to intervene. Federal authorities say local politics is impacting police involvement.
Unfortunately, local police has been restricted from responding or cooperating at all with federal authorities, which is completely absurd.
And things also got violent outside of the ICE facility in Broadview, Illinois, again early yesterday morning, with anti-ICE protesters clashing with law enforcement. Broadview's mayor blames federal authorities for the chaos.
When you see agents dispersing tear gas or chemical minutia or rubber pellets, what do you call it? It's unacceptable. We don't need to be policed. We know how to maintain.
Well, officials within the Trump administration clearly feel different.
I don't think you know how to do policing. I don't think you know how to maintain. I mean, you let them just dump all them Venezuelans in your neighborhood and you ain't do shit. Trump had to send the whole the Ninja Turtle squad in there to get them up out. And if you can't police yourself, you will be policed. This is just nature reasserting balance. That's all that is.
Differently based on the ongoing violence during the protests outside of the ICE facility in Broadview, Illinois over the past 3 weeks. Mike?
Christina Coleman reporting live. Christina, thanks very much. For more, let's bring in former Assistant U.S. Attorney for Washington, D.C. and Senior Legal Fellow at the Heritage Foundation, Cully Stimson. Cully, welcome.
Hi there.
So what do you make of the reaction in Portland, Oregon?
So Portland joined the Union in 1859 as part of the Union. And part of the bargain you get when you become a state in this republic is that you have to allow for the enforcement of all laws, including federal laws, including ones you may not agree with.
Right.
So I actually think the blame lies with local leaders who don't allow police to do their job. The police are clearly for the enforcement of law, including federal law. I'm sure these local cops are friendly with the federal troops and the National Guardsmen. They're probably friends with them.
Uncut, I think you kind of came in at a weird moment. There is no spin, as I understand it here, Uncut. We all agree, as far as I understand in my audience here, that Black people are being walked into a situation that they need not be walked into. Because you got your Black leadership trying to gas people up, busted open for Jorge. But in fact, it's all white people and Latinos out there protesting in the street, as it should be, because this ain't got nothing to do with niggas. But that's the play, though. The spin ain't coming from me, bro. The spin is coming from Brandon. Brandon want to fight the Civil War over again over Jorge, bro. I'm not busting my musket for Jorge, bro. That nigga good, man.
And yet local leaders aren't allowing them to enforce the law. It's despicable, and they're the ones to blame. Trump wouldn't have to do any of this if local leaders crack down on the laws there, period.
A former acting DEA administrator has this message for the folks in Portland. Let's play it. I'll get you to react.
The taxpayers are paying overtime for all these cops to be out there. But if they're not doing their job because these mayors and, in these different cities and the city councils are directing them to stand by, I got news for Portland. The National Guard is coming. The Secretary of War, the President of the United States are not going to tolerate it.
What's your take on that warning?
Love that guy. I mean, he's right? Look, you don't get to selectively enforce the law. And if you're holding the reins back on local police who you're funding, who you're asking to put their lives on the line every single day,
sure,
and then you tell them, do your job with one hand behind your back, and oh, by the way, don't cooperate with the feds, you're a lawless person. You're a lawless politician, and you should resign in disgrace.
All right.
Can you charge the mayor with some type of crime for giving the police orders to not cooperate with law enforcement, especially when it's an active situation? Because if Brandon went to jail, I'd be happy with that.
Let's pivot to Chicago. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker offering his reaction to the surge in Chicago, saying, quote, federal agents reporting to Secretary Kristi Noem have spent weeks snatching up families, scaring law-abiding residents, violating due process rights, and even detaining U.S. citizens. They fail to focus on violent criminals and instead create panic in our communities. How do you respond?
It's a tremendous act of projection on his part. He's the one, his mayor's the one that is not enforcing local law. It's the crime tsunami in Chicago, which I've written about, which I've talked about.
The way I look at it, a sanctuary city is unconstitutional because anything involving a foreign national is by definition, by constitutional law, the purview of the federal government, not any state or local government. So how does a state or local municipality have the right to give sanctuary to a foreign agent or foreign individual at all? Now, I don't claim to be a lawyer or a constitutional scholar. I'm just a guy who thinks about things out loud. And if anybody in the audience happens to be, damn, there's like 90 people in here, in a group of 90 random Americans, one of you have to be some type of lawyer, some type of constitutional scholar. Does the idea of a sanctuary city actually pass the legal muster? It doesn't really seem constitutional in the grand scope of things, right? I mean, I could be wrong, but what do I know?
I mean, there are parts of Chicago, as I've told you before, Mike, that are more dangerous than the war zones in Iraq and Afghanistan. So if they would do their jobs and unleash their police to do their jobs lawfully and work with local residents. By the way, Trump won. Okay, get over it, right? Federal law applies in Illinois, which joined the Union right after 1800. And so federal law, including immigration law, applies in Illinois. So cooperate. It's their fault that Trump is sending those folks there because they're not doing their job and they're for illegal immigration. And so Trump is like, look, I won on this. I even won the swing states. Get over it. And if you're not going to do your job, I'm going to second my folks to there to help them do their job.
Okay, to the sentencing of this would-be assassin of Justice Brett Kavanaugh, Nicholas Roski, now goes by Sophie, sentenced to 8 years. DOJ was seeking 30 years.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
Well, it's
There was something else I had. Oh, yeah. Now, allegedly, this right here was a photo going around that had everybody all in their melanated feelings because they were zip tying a black baby. Look at that. This is the photo, actual evidence. Because I remember when I was asking Izzy, like, well, where's the video of all these kids being zip tied? Like, where's the evidence? I mean, I believe it happened because, you had to do something. But, like, I'm just curious, which kids got zip tied? Was it the black kids or the Mexican kids, right? And then this picture went around. They were zip tying the black babies. Look at them. They're about to put them in the Mexican van.
I want you to really break this down to me like I'm 10 years old and tell me why ICE agents zip tying black babies in Chicago, because I can't for the life of me understand why this happened. Why was this necessary? These are.
So I seen this video and it's all over TikTok and Instagram. So I had to do my research. And what did I find?
Don't fuck it.
That picture, which is my video of me and my son playing cops and robbers. Literally, this is us.
Black dads, huh? You see what they do with a wholesome image of a black father? They try to corrupt it into some anti-Trump propaganda. You can't even just be a black dad without getting used in the propaganda war against Trump. Shit crazy, bro. Shit crazy. And people really out here really just saying and doing the most.
Hi, ICE agents have children too. Most of them have children too. And it's not as hard as you think to figure out who they are, where they go to school, their names. It's not hard at all.
I bet you they're going to figure out where you go to school and what your name is.
La migra.
You know what I just realized? Where are the rest of the ICE agents? Sometimes you watch a video and you don't really have any information about it. It's just like a random thing. And now I'm watching this thing and I don't know if it's real or not. And I'm kind of including it right here at the tail end of the show. But as I'm watching it now, it just occurred to me, like, where are the rest of the police? Like, so you're just one lone ICE agent masked up, jumped out and tried to get a guy, and now you're out here fighting people off? Like, now I'm kind of smelling something. It smells weird.
Hey! No!
The propaganda is crazy. Where the rest of them at? You out here alone? You all alone in these streets, cousin? Like, you ain't got a van to take them into? You ain't on your radio calling for backup? Is this even real? Is this like what they call immigrant core? Like, is this like an inspirational video for the Latino community? Like, if you fight hard enough, if we all stand together, you can get away from the ICE agent? This feels like an inspirational video for the Latino community. If we all stand together, he won't go to jail. If we all stand together, they can't take me Tio away.
Let him go.
I bet you everybody in this video is a Venezuelan.
Get out there.
Everybody involved is a Venezuelan, I promise you. Everybody involved in this shit is a fucking illegal immigrant. None of these people been in the country more than 2 years. Bro, this is like Latino immigrant propaganda. Look, we defeated ICE, y'all.
Get the fuck out of here. Let me see your fucking face, bro. Let him go.
And they just gave up. This is a novella. Immigrant core, y'all. This is straight up immigrant core. Hey, Holmes, you remember that one time when they tried to take me Tio away and the whole community stood up? The whole Arasa that came out and it was like, hey, that's his Tio. You can't take him away. And then we fought with the immigration. And then my Tio, he broke free from the zip ties and then he ran away. And then the immigration, they ran away too. And we beat the immigrant. You remember the time? This is fucking immigrant core. I swear to God. This is immigrant core right here. This shit feels so phony. Like, why were you in there by yourself, bro? This shit don't even look right. This shit don't look right at all. Like, what the fuck just happened? They just had the one guy out there trying to do the work, and then he jumped in a getaway car and drove away. I'm telling you, everybody in here is Mexican, bro. This whole shit is a novella, freedom porn. This is an illegal immigrant fanfic, bro. Fanfic is getting really, really crazy right now. You know, fanfic, they make movies and everything. It's not just stories and shit. It's not just online novels on a Reddit post now. It's like actual videos, bro. This look like Mexican illegal immigrant fanfic right here. Meet Tio versus ICE. This is wild, bro. I'm done. I'm over it. I can't believe I almost fell for it. I was about to show that shit. Like, look how they out here wilding out. And then I start watching it. I'm like, this shit look fishy. This is one chubby nigga There's one Mexican wrestling another Mexican. This shit is like lucha libre with different costumes on. This is a whole luchador skit right here. That's all that is, right? This is fucking lucha libre with different costumes on, bro. This is a Mexican wrestling skit, bro. This is a Tijuana Mexican wrestler right here.
La migra.
I'm telling you, this shit probably got 100,000 views in Mexico already. 1 million views in one day. Look at this shit. I'm done. I'm over this bullshit. I'm done. They almost got me. They was trying to make me feel like some type of false emotions for the nigga. Nah, I think y'all niggas out here hustling, bro. The hustle was real, bro. You got to be careful. Mexicans haven't figured out AI yet. They got to act out everything personally. But Mexicans are cheap, though, so they'll just come up and work for tacos. They put that whole shit together for like 30 tacos, bro. You would have had to pay $50 for the proper AI program. They did that shit for 30 tacos. Directed by Spike Lee. Listen, man, I'm done. I'm over this shit. These niggas out here coming up with immigration raid fan fiction. I told you, listen, the content gonna be crazy. The content that's about to be produced over the next couple of years, you're gonna see all kinds of shit, bro. They're gonna come out with all kind of movies where ICE agents going crazy and shit. Like, remember Maniac Cop? They're gonna make Maniac ICE agent. It's gonna be all kind of wild shit. They're gonna start doing remakes. There's gonna be extra shit happening. But we're bringing the 80s back too. Everybody thought Make America Great Again was going back to like 1949 or some shit. Like, nah, we're going back to 1988. Drug wars and neon colors and techno music and electro music or whatever that shit was called back then. Electronic music and drug wars. We're bringing the drug wars back, y'all. We're blowing Venezuelans out the water. I hear we might even have black ops teams on the ground shooting the Haitians for fun. Just for practice. Just to keep their skills sharp. We're bringing the 80s back, bro. We're invading third world countries in the Western Hemisphere. We're shooting up cartel members. We're blowing knocker boats out the water. America is starting to look great again already. No lie. No lie. All we got to do is actually invade Chicago. That's the last thing. If we get Chicago on board, all the other cities are not even that big. But, you know, if we tackle Chicago, the rest of the cities will fall. But you guys, I want to thank y'all so much for coming out tonight. Hit that like button on your way out the door. Remember, when they tell you to bust it open for Harambe, tell them to go fuck themselves. Not Harambe, for Jorge. I'm sorry. When they tell you to bust it open for Jorge, tell them we don't do that around here. You tricked us last time with George Floyd. We're not going to bust it open for Jorge. Jorge is on his own, bro. He had a good run. Jorge had a good run.
No more money for you. It's lazy. You lazy. You lazy. No more money for you. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done.
Somebody had to do it. I am the chosen one. Somebody had to